Hello folks, it's Uncle Roddus back again to show you some records. What is it? Oh, it's the end of July 2023. Wow, yeah, God, the year is going so fast. Very, very fast. Yeah, we're still in the middle of doing up the house, which is progressing really well, and we're at the 3/4 stage mark, I reckon. Maybe, yeah, 3/4 of the way through. So that's really cool. My non-record buying has taken a bit of a battering. So my last video, which obviously you won't have seen yet as I'm making this, although you would have seen it by the time I post this, my last video showed a bunch of New Zealand stuff that I picked up as a catching up of a whole lot of new releases and stuff, and some more of those have come in. So this one here that you are listening to behind me is the new-ish one from Roy Montgomery, or certainly his latest one. I should move a bit closer to the camera perhaps. This is the last, I don't know, is it part of the releases from last year that, where he was doing, what was the year before? Shit. His 40th anniversary of being in the music business, and I've shown 4 records that were released over a period of about 12 or so months. And this one coming on the tail end of that was a double LP called Canberra Melancholia. Unfortunately, his partner of 20 years passed away in January 2021. Kerry Bridget McCartney, she was a curator of things in Christchurch. So I saw Roy play live. There's a whole lot of poetry in the centre of this that he's written around the events of his partner's illness and passing. He performed some of the music off this at a gig I went to last year or earlier this year. It was pretty heavy going actually. Roy was quite emotional when he didn't actually finish what he was doing, but it was very brave of him to be up there in front of the public and airing his emotional state through his poetry and music. So yeah, it was pretty impressive, and he's still doing a bit of it, I guess, his grievance process. He's actually playing live in Europe around about now. We talk as we're making this video with the Dead Sea. So a double LP of Roy's music, brilliant records. All his records are brilliant, really, to be honest. So another one who deceased, in this case it's the artist himself, Neil Duncan. This is called Phantom Tones. This was recorded up until he passed away again in, I think, 2020 or 21. This was recorded in 2020. I believe he passed away the following year. This is just on black vinyl. Neil, I wasn't familiar with Neil's name, to be honest, but I'm familiar with Neil's music in some ways. Neil was part of the original Braille Collective back in Wellington in the 1980s and early 90s, and was a part of many of the groups that recorded for Braille, and some of the other members of those groups are on this record. This is really, really good. Really good, Phantom Tones. So I'm impressed. His saxophone player, actually he's a one-arm sax player. I think he lost his arm part earlier on as part of an illness in 2012, and then yeah, unfortunately he's passed away now. But yeah, really nice tone on his sax. I really enjoyed it. It's a really good record. I think there's a limited of about 200 copies of that. You can probably get that via the Bandcamp Devil's Gate outfit, which is who I've shown a record that they have not that long ago put out. I've I've showed that already. Same band but with a different guy. This is a new release, I think a debut LP. Bleeding Star is the name of the record, and the band, and Dropper is the name of the record. This is kind of alternative indie, although it's actually got a bit of a commercial kick to it. I'm not sure. There's been some positive comments on this, and I mean it's not bad, but I'm not sure if it's for me. It needs a bit more of a listen. It sounds like something else that I've heard before. I don't know. It's a bit, yeah, I don't know. We'll give it a few more items, a few more listens, and see how we go. The new Tiny Ruins record is called Ceremony. Is this on coloured vinyl? No, this is just on the black. My lights are flickering. What's going on there? I'm not sure this is as good as her previous Olympic. What's that called? Olympic? I don't know. Not too sure. Still getting to grips with it, but pretty cool artwork. So yeah, she's been around a while now. Amazing guitarist. I saw her live with Nadia Reid, and I was really impressed with her playing. Orbit by Recitals. This is their debut LP. This is on Flying Nun. This is really cool. I'm quite impressed. This is quite an eclectic selection of music. Some sort of shoegazy stuff and some bit more rocky sort of stuff. Yeah, really cool. Some of it sounds a little bit familiar. I think they're from Auckland, aren't they? I'm not sure. So this is their debut LP. Yeah, I'm pretty impressed. Last video on a bunch of those New Zealand stuff, I showed a couple of records by a band called Little Skull, I think. The mainstay of Little Skull is really, well, Little Skull is a guy called Dean Brown. He's also involved with this band who are called Nova Scotia. This is their latest LP called Old Light. I have another Nova Scotia record, but this one, that was a split album, I think, with I. This is really good. This is underground, drony sort of experimental stuff. This is really, really enjoying that. That is a really good record. I don't know why my lights are flickering like that. They haven't done that before. They've just started doing it, and it's really annoying the hell out of me. A later arrival, or a second batch of arrivals from the Northern New Zealand stuff, and I don't think I showed this, was this is a compilation by Smelly Feet. Smelly Feet was actually a solo guy, and he used to do like busking and stuff and playing in the universities. Jesus, what is the guy's name? Brent Hayward. He went on to some other bands, or before this he was in some other bands. The Kiwi Animal, I believe, was one of them. And another earlier band, a really lo-fi band whose name is escaping me at the moment. This is really good record. I really enjoy it. Very, very quirky solo guitar play. I think someone referenced Patrick Fitzgerald, the English beat punk poet. Yeah, this is, so there was a couple of 7-inches and some live recordings and cassettes. So this is pretty much all that he recorded. This reissue, yeah, there's a reissue. Another reissue, Pitch Black, Ape to Angel. So I've got a couple of other Pitch Black. I didn't pick up their first album, which was reissued. I have that on CD. This is a double LP. So this is electronica sort of stuff. Yeah, they are pretty cool. I didn't recognise the album, but I'm actually familiar with some of the tracks on this, and possibly had them on some compilations. Right, so that's the New Zealand stuff. And then I got to go to Penny Lane a couple of weeks or so ago. We were in town for whatever reasons, and I managed to pick up some more of the compilations out of their compilation bin of the Lost Leader Warner's early 70s kind of post mail order records. This one's called Non-Dairy Creamer. So I picked up a bunch more of those. I've got probably about half of them that they released from 1969 through to the early 80s. So yeah, I picked up two more of those. Schlangers. This is the one I mentioned that I'd seen there and I didn't grab it last time when I showed those the other bunch. I think I got the big red ball. Did I show that? I don't remember. That's another compilation. These are double LPs mostly, apart from that Non-Dairy Creamer. Quite an eclectic mix on these. There's some really cool early 70s stuff and some really cool and some more interesting stuff. Interruptus Collectus. This is a more later one. Is this from the 80s? Not sure exactly. Hang on. God, I can't read that writing. It's very blurry. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, Interruptus Collectus. And this is a Warner's one, isn't it? Yes, it is. Yeah, yeah. So these are the Lost Leader ones. So I picked up a couple of those, more of those. And then some more interesting ones. This one here, Hard Rock on CBS, phonogram, CBS, yeah. Hard Rock one, it's like Blue Oyster Cult, Ted Nugent, Aerosmith, June. This is The Dictators, Stephen Wolf. This is from the late 70s, very late 70s, 76, late-ish 70s. So, not sure on this one yet. There's some cool bands on here, some not so cool bands. Like, I'm not really into Aerosmith and Journey. Pavlov's Dog. I used to have a record by Pavlov's Dog. I need to listen to this a bit more. And then this one here I picked up. This is one of the Decca compilations. Now Decca did a shitload of these compilations. World of Hits Volume 5. Now I picked up the World of Progressive Rock, which is in the same kind of series, which is really cool. This one, I don't know, this one's not quite so good. Sort of, when I say World of Hits, there's a lot of bands on here that had hits, like Marmalade, The Small Faces, Arm & Corner, but I don't know if it's their best tracks, and I didn't recognise any of them. But there's a whole bunch of World of compilations listed on the back of this. Some by some individual people, and then some like compilations like hits, rock and roll, British comedy. Yeah, that. I mean, even Benny Hill, the Zombies. I mean, there's a real mix, and a lot of them would be of no interest to me. This one, I don't know if I'll keep it, actually, to be honest. I'm not as impressed with it as I was hoping. Then there's this one. This is an Island Records compilation from 1970. I think, or 72, called Bumpers, double LP, things like Free All Right Now. There's a fantastic track on side one by Traffic called Empty Pages. Then there's Spencer Davis, I'm a Man, that's really cool. Primrose Hill. Yeah, good mix, some interesting tracks. The strange thing about this, I love the cover, that's quite cool. This is a kind of New Zealand and Australia only release, in that the release itself, the Bumpers release, apparently was the release in the UK, but with a considerably different track listing from what this was released in Australia and New Zealand. So, and I mean, really considering like completely different bands, different tracks, maybe some crossovers, I'm not sure, I haven't done a comparison. But I had really enjoyed this, especially that Traffic song. That is really cool. I mean, I've been familiar with Traffic, but I've never owned any of their music, to be honest. It's one of those things I've never bothered picking up. And then finally, this is actually definitely, I believe, a New Zealand only compilation, Hot Rock. This is a pretty tatty copy, unfortunately, on Polygram. It's got like Golden Earring, Mountain, Stone the Crows, Brian Augers Express, Spyrogyra. There's some pretty cool Velvet Underground, Juicy Lucy, on orange vinyl. But unfortunately, this is I didn't pay much for it, but it is a little bit rough. It looked alright, cleaned it through the machine, but there is quite a lot of surface noise, so that's a bit of a shame. Still, it's interesting to have. I might be able to pick up it. I have seen someone else posting this on Facebook, and actually they are selling a copy at the moment. I could possibly pick up a better copy than that. Alright, well that's my lot. There is some more records coming. I'm still waiting on some pre-orders and stuff like that, and yeah, that'll be in the next few weeks. Alright, well I'll stop prattling on and let you get back to your day, and thanks for watching. Cheers.